The history of bananas. Look up Chiquita. From paying terrorists to child labor. They have a huge list of interesting corruption cases they've been caught for. I'm sure many of you will recognize this label that you've probably seen on a banana in your local grocery store. This comment here links to an article from 2007 where it is reported that Chiquita Brands International has agreed to a $25 million fine after admitting it paid terrorists for protection in a volatile farming region of Colombia. I would have never guessed that the bananas in our grocery stores would have such a dark backstory. Watch the rest of the episode for more. Welcome back to AskReddit Mondays on Redditainment. Today's topic comes to us from this user and it says, what's a deep, dark rabbit hole to research when bored? Let's jump right into the comments. First comment says, Cryptozoology. It's interesting to say the least, but there are so many things that make you question what is out there in the world that we haven't discovered yet. When I first got into it, I thought cryptids were more like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster, but there are hundreds or even thousands of other weird and unusual sightings of creatures many haven't even heard of. If you're like me and had to look up what this actually means, here's a brief summary from Google when you type in cryptozoology. It says it's a pseudoscience and subculture that searches for and studies unknown, legendary, or extinct animals whose present existence is disputed or unsubstantiated. So in short, there's no real evidence that they exist, but I guess a lot of people might have reported sightings of them. I can definitely see that as being an interesting rabbit hole to dive into. Another comment says, when I worked at a call center, we often had quiet times and the internet blocked most things. Unusual wiki articles kept me entertained for quite some time though. It's full of random strange things. This user links to the Wikipedia page titled Unusual Articles, and it's quite literally a list of unusual articles, most of them quite humorous, and many just very unusual as it says. For example, one of these items on the list is called The Broomway, the most dangerous path in the world. Would you join 100 others who died walking the invisible path? Another titled Monte Caolino, a ski resort without snow. And another 33 Thomas Street, a windowless skyscraper in New York and suspected NSA mass surveillance hub. Not suspicious at all. You get the point. Links mentioned throughout this episode will be down below in the description if you want to check those out for yourself. Feel free to dive into those rabbit holes, but let's find some more comments. Here's another comment that says, this should give you an hour or two. List of unusual deaths. And once again, we got a link to a Wikipedia article, which seems to be the hub of rabbit hole discoveries. This is literally a list of unusual deaths ranging from about 620 BC all the way to modern day. A lot of these are very horrible deaths and indeed very unusual. To pick out a few here, for example, there's one from June 4th, 1923. Frank Hayes, 22, a jockey of Elmont, New York, died of a heart attack mid-race and collapsed on the horse, which nonetheless crossed the finish line first, still carrying his body. Another one from July 16, 2019 states that Parvat Galabaria, 60, from Gujarat, India, bit a snake after the snake had bitten him. Both he and the snake died. This list could definitely keep you busy for a while, but let's move on with some more comments. This comment says, caving and cave diving accidents. Accidentally watched one on YouTube, then went down the rabbit hole. This led to some more parallel topics of horrible fates, bad deaths, etc. After a few days, started getting disturbed sleep as this became my routine of watching before the sleep time. With self-restraint, I finally got out of it. Probably not the best thing to watch before going to bed, but I've definitely heard some horror stories involving cave diving. Sounds like quite the extreme sport that can be fatal if you're not careful. Another comment says, look up history of human experimentation in the US on Wikipedia, then do it for Japan. No thank you, not a rabbit hole I want to go down. I can only imagine what would come up as a result. Here's another one that says, art forgery and fakes. I've been watching a BBC series called Fake or Fortune, where people try to get their art validated as being by an old master. They've had Renoir, Monet, etc. The program goes into how both modern day and historic forgers use techniques to make a picture or sculpture look original. It sometimes also shows how corrupt the art validation world can be, with one episode showing overwhelming evidence that a picture was genuine, but the organization responsible for cataloging the original works of the artist refusing to acknowledge it. Interestingly, the head of that institute is now under investigation in France for hoarding 1 billion euros worth of missing artworks. Very interesting, and I think there's a general consensus that a lot of art is often tied to money laundering as well. There appears to be a lot of corruption in that industry. Alright, last comment for this episode says, consciousness and what it is, and who are you anyway? Great way to end the episode. I'll leave you with that question to discover that yourself and hope you enjoy that rabbit hole. But that is it for today. Links in the description. If you liked the video, leave a like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.